Hi, everybody. At Skating PJ here with another edition of 3 Turn 3. I am so excited to be here along with my pals, Charlene Bailey and Mazen Thomas. Come on, guys. Come on in and join me.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
So, we've taken a little bit of a break, but we want to reassure our faithful followers and our faithful viewers that we are now all in until after the end of the season because we wanted to be able to chit chat about skating even afterwards for everybody. So we are going to have lots of great stuff happening. Charlene, do you remember who's coming in today? We've got kind of special guests expected.
You may have heard of them before. One of them could be my cat who's crawling on me. Otherwise, you may have heard their names before. Nadia Bashinska and Peter Beaumont will be joining us. They are the skaters in residence. They have done some blog posts. If you haven't checked them out, you need to go do that on the Skate Ontario website. But really pumped to chat with them today.
Well, and considering that they're junior national champions, they are junior Grand Prix final champions. They won both their junior Grand Prix assignments, and they are headed to Junior Worlds in Calgary in just a few weeks' time. So, Mazen, got anything new to report?
Listen, you know what? Skating is going on, and people, it's exciting. There's been a lot of events that have been taking place. We've been witness to all of them. We're going to talk about a lot of those events. We're going to talk about a lot of the Skate Ontario skaters that have represented Ontario and Skate Canada at these events, and it's going to be great.
Well, you know what? We are going to maybe just go right into our Skate Ontario news segment where we're talking all about the headlines across the province of Ontario. You know what, guys? It's been a minute for sure. But let's talk a little bit about nationals and what happened there. Who was as excited as I am to see what went on? How about you guys? What do you think?
As a spectator, it was very cool because I think for a lot of categories, we really didn't know who was going to rise to the occasion and take the championship titles because we had a lot of new faces that perhaps some of you at home have not been seeing regularly, at least not in the last quad. So I really love that. And I know Mazen was there. I saw you. Maz, what did you think?
You know what? I thought it was great. And you know what? And we missed a couple of faces as well. Piper Gillies and Paul Poirier did not compete this year at nationals, but nonetheless, they will be competing, throughout the rest of the season at Four Continents and Worlds, obviously. So it was, unfortunate not to see them there. But because of that, we ended up crowning a new Canadian ice dance champion, which was really interesting. I think that the scope for our skating, especially in the men's and the ladies and the pairs event, really just shone through that, we're getting depth. We're getting depth in all three of those disciplines. And I think that that's really great to see. We crowned the, once again, Maddie Skizis as our senior ladies champion. Skate Ontario, of course. So that was wonderful to see her, be able to claim that, Canadian Championship medal for the second time. So that was great. And we had also, some great skating going on with including of synchro, junior and senior events. And both Skate Ontario teams, Nexus won both events. So I think that was fantastic.
When you think about it, we're looking at 6 gold medals coming from Ontario, and there were, in fact, 10 events. So 60% of the gold medals come back to Ontario. Congratulations to all of the competitors. One of the things that we are going to talk about a little bit and a little bit later on is the fact that synchro skating was included for the first time at the national championships. And I think that was a great addition. You guys were in the building. How did you feel about it?
The vibe was electric, let me tell you. So for anyone who has not seen synchro in person before, you need to go, you need to experience it. It is amazing from a spectator crowd standpoint. The crowd is hype. The other teams are hype. They are screaming, they are cheering, and the skating is unlike anything you've ever seen before. So, it's a combination of ice dance and pairs, and it's really magical to witness. So it was a great time. No complaints.
I want to talk about the challenge champion, Fiona Bombardier, women's senior challenge champion who moved on to Canadians, 17 years old. That's a lot of pressure for a skater. And yet, you know what? She came out and she was fantastic and ended up a bronze medalist. What do you guys have to say about that?
Good for her. I mean,
Yep.
honestly and truly, good for her. She was a medalist in the junior event last year. And you know what? First year senior and receiving a bronze medal, she completely earned it. Boy, oh boy, did she ever work hard. And she is making her own mark in the senior category. That's for sure.
And you
And
know
she
what?
looked so comfortable out there. She
Exactly.
just looked like she was having such a great time. And it really, it brought a lot of joy to my heart to watch her personally. I can only speak for myself because she just looked so happy to be there. And that's what you want. You don't want people going out there stressing out. She was just so happy to be there, interacting with the crowd a little bit. It was great.
Yeah,
It's nice to see the next generation of the family business because when we, I was just going to say, for those that don't know, Fiona Bombardier is the daughter of champion José Chouinard and Olympian, Canadian champion and Olympian José Chouinard, and Jean-Michel Bombardier, a champion in his own right in pairs. So super exciting to see that. Listen, on our tour, I'm doing the Skate Ontario competition tour all season long. And I've been going to different competitions to capture content of our fabulous Skate Ontario competitors. So next up on the tour was the Novice and Pre-Novice Challenge in warm and balmy Regina. I'm kidding. It was freezing. Minus 26 with a wind chill of minus 37. Anyway, I digress. But some wonderful skating again at this novice and pre-novice event. The pre-novice, that was the end of their road competitively. So it was a chance for all of the skaters across the country to get together and to compete in the pre-novice categories. And then in novice, they will be heading to Calgary in a week, 10 days time, to compete at the Novice Canadian Championships. And there will also be the Canada Cup for synchro teams. So I am headed to Calgary a week from Saturday to get all of the action and all the skaters. I want to make sure that you do that. Okay, let's take a quick look at that board again to congratulate all of our novice and pre-novice skaters. Anything jump out at you, you guys?
Yes, first and foremost, you know what? The novice dance champions just got together this last season, and they have just been rising stars. They've done such a great job. PJ, both you and I know young Axel McKenzie for many years.
Yep.
He started off his skating over at the North Toronto Skating Club and has since moved over to, Dance Excellence in Scarborough, and has just done such a great job. So we're really happy for him. But if you look over there, folks, his younger sister, Anna McKenzie, ended up winning a medal at the pre-novice dance level as well. So you know what? Good for them. Good for the family. So happy that those two kids just did such a great job. And we were talking a little bit earlier, Peach, about the young little pre-novice bronze medalist.
Yes, exactly. Bottom right picture, we're looking at Ksenia Kruskevich, and this was remarkable. 22nd place in the short program, won the free, and moved up to capture the bronze medal. That, my friends, is how you define a competition. It was fantastic.
That just goes to show that it ain't over until it's over, and
Oh my
you go
God,
out there, no matter what
Charlene, I
happens
was
in the
thinking the
short,
same
and you
thing.
give it. Great minds
Oh my
think alike, my
gosh.
friend.
That's it. Totally the same thing. Yeah.
Well,
And you know what? Everybody, good for them. Good for these young athletes. I hope that they all enjoy themselves. And I hope that they just, take pride in how hard they've worked throughout the entire season to be able to, to come away with some nice hardware.
exactly. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about an item that we've seen in the news all week long, and that was a picture of the American athletes with a box open with no medals inside. I'm referring, of course, to the team event, which took place 1 year ago in Beijing. Today, in fact, our producer told us that today, in fact, was the day that it was discovered about the potential doping infraction by Kamila Valieva, which put the Russian gold medal into question. And that still has not been resolved. It can have ramifications for Canadians. Do you guys know why?
Yeah, so Canadian skaters are still waiting to see, a year later, if they in fact won medals in Beijing. So as you said, PJ, it was 1 year ago today that the positive doping test of 15-year-old Kamila Valieva came to light. So stopping the team skating competition after the athletes had skated, but before the medals were awarded. So the Russian was caught with banned substances in a test before the Olympics. And so the Russian doping agency has since cleared her, believing her assertion that the drug was in her system, from inadvertently taking her grandfather's heart medication. No comment. If after all of the appeals, she is cleared by the International Olympic Committee and World Skate, Russia, US, and Japan will eventually receive medals. If she is found to have done wrong, the United States will move to the top of the podium, with Japan getting silver, and then Canada's Roman Sadovsky, Ontario, Madeline Skeezes, Ontario, Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael Marinero, Ontario, Vanessa James and Eric Radford, and Piper Gillies and Paul Poirier, Ontario, would receive bronze. But until all of that is resolved, we really are kind of sitting here with our open medals, just
Boxes.
I don't like it.
right.
I don't like it. Taking way
don't like
too
it either.
long. It's just, how do I say it nicely? But you can't. It's just wrong on so many levels that a decision just has not been made yet. And it's just sad.
And in truth, when you listen to some of the marketing people, you realize that the time to sort of really capitalize on Olympic medals is in the moments after the Olympics. A year later, sponsors have moved on, people have moved on, regardless of what the outcome actually is. It's not good for anybody. So that part is very difficult.
And I know a number of athletes have actually spoken up about how the moment of actually standing on the podium was more formative for them than the actual competition, than the actual, village experience, and being robbed of that. Like, the damage has been done. And I find it just very interesting that the country in question is, investigating it as if they should be holding any water, their opinion, that is. So.
Well, it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. So one quick mention, and actually, Charlene, you brought it up in the news, in Ontario, near Center Island, I think, or near one of the islands, there were people that were skating on the ice surface. It normally is not a problem during the winter, but we've had a couple of very light weather days. So just a quick reminder to be careful if you're out there on natural ice. It isn't as solid as what you find in the arena. I'm just saying.
And if you're not sure, just don't. Please don't. We all care about you. We want everyone to be safe. Skating is for everyone. It is to be enjoyed. But please just, if it is a question mark in your brain, just don't. Please don't.
Great. Okay, guess what? This is going to be super fun. We are going to get our pal Mazen to introduce our special guest today. When I say special, they're special.
Okay, the big surprise. Oh, wait. Okay. Listen, everyone, we are so happy to be able to talk to these young athletes. Do you know what? Since they've gotten together, they have been on a upward trajectory nonstop. And as we've just mentioned at the beginning of the show, this season has just been fantastic for them. They won both of their junior Grand Prix to qualify them to the junior Grand Prix final. And guess what? They won that. And then right after that, they ended up competing at the national championships in junior. And guess what? They won that. They are last year's World Junior bronze medalist and heading into this year's Junior World Championships in Calgary. Really looking forward to chat with these two. Please welcome Nadia Bashinska and Peter Beaumont.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. Really happy to have you both, with us at this time, and as well to meet both of you and to chat with you both. I've got the first question for you both. And you know what? I want to know, at the beginning, 6 years ago, how did it all happen? How did you guys end up connecting, being able to find each other? We know that Nadia, you reign from the lovely Ukraine, and Peter, you're from Britain, UK. So how did you guys get together, end up training and living here in Canada? Tell us your story.
Go, Peter.
Do you want me to go? Okay. Well, anyways, I'll start. So it was quite a funny coincidence how we managed to start skating together. So what I was doing originally in the UK was I was skating with my coach, Viv Dean, at the time. And at the same time, Viv used to skate with John, who was Nadia's coach and is our now coach at the moment. So it's kind of an odd coincidence how they both used to skate together. And yeah, one lives in Canada and one lives in the UK. And so John came over to the UK because he had a team, Katarina and Lucas, for their national championships. And Viv introduced me because I just recently split up with my partner. He introduced me to John and said, "I've got this boy. He's looking for a partner." And John's like, "Oh, perfect timing. We have this girl called Nadia, and she's just moved from Ukraine." So it was about 2 months later that we decided to go for a trial, and after that trial, sort of went, "Oh, things work, so we'll carry it on." And here we are, six years later.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I like for Peter to start the story because it's very interesting to see how completely two different, like for me, our partnership, I found Peter on Ice Partner Search. And that's kind of where we found him. So we sent them an email, which I don't know if it went through, but we approached our coaches, my coaches at that time, Carol and Eurus and John, and I kind of just had a conversation with them, and they were like, "This is great. Let's make this work." And like Peter told you the story of John traveling to England and then having all of that conversation, and Peter coming to Canada, which is a huge step, just, moving away from your country. It's huge. For me, I immigrated here with my family. Peter had to come here with no parents and live in a house full of strangers. So it was kind of interesting.
You know what? It has been an absolute delight to watch you guys all season long, and to be able to go out to Scarborough to Ice Dance Elite and to see you guys in training. You're training probably for your biggest competition of the year, Junior Worlds, or maybe it isn't. Maybe Nationals for you was the biggest. Maybe Grand Prix Final was the biggest. How do you slot them, and how do you adjust your training?
This is hard because I think Peter and I actually think of every competition as a big competition. It can be sectionals, it's still a competition for us. I think for right now, training up to Worlds, we definitely have a very set plan on how we're training. So we're pretty determined, and we're taking care of our bodies and taking care of our mental health, because that's probably the most important piece in all of this, is just trying to stay focused at this time of the season.
Peter, what about you?
I was also going to build on to what Nadia just said. So for us, the main focus now is Junior Worlds, of course. And if we were to rank it as like between all the competitions we've had this season, I'd say it's the one that shows our final development throughout the season. So we've had the Grand Prix where it shows slight developments between each competition. Then we have the Grand Prix final, which is another show, and then obviously Nationals, which for us was great because it was just 20 minutes away for us. And with Worlds also being in Calgary, it's a big sort of confidence boost for us. We're just really looking forward to going out there, having a good time, and skating the best we can on our programs.
Well, skating the best you can is what I see all the time. Listen, just before Charlene gets ready with her question, I just want to say to the audience out there, if you have any comments, any questions that you would like to pose for Nadia and Peter, just put them in the chat window below, and then we'll get to it. Okay, Charlene, you're up.
Yeah, so I mean, 6 years is a very long time to be with anyone. But I know that you have quite a repertoire of programs that you have skated. But this year, every year you seem to step it up. Which program do you love the most, and why? Because it's not always just about, because I think we get so caught up in okay, we're getting ready, but why do you love the process? It's got to be about the process, right? So tell us, which one do you love and why?
You want me to go first? Okay, I'll go first. It's hard to decide which one you prefer most. Because with us in the tango, we'd already done the tango for our first year of junior, so it was also a kind of thought in our heads is, it's redemption. We can do it even better this time. So it was a nice thing to do. But also with the Red Violin free dance, it's something that we brought up as to our coaches, Cameron and Eurus, as our style. And so it was one that sort of resonated within ourselves. And after watching the movie couple of times here and there, which it took me a while to actually watch, but we'll not get on to that. It was it really stuck with us, and for me, I would say it's that program that I prefer most.
Lovely. Nadia, what about you?
I think I agree with Peter completely. The free dance is just something, I mean, we skate it with our whole heart. And like he said, we really feel it. And it's right, like our style, it's right up our alley. But at the same time, I think what's the most enchanting part of that program is the story, because not everyone knows the story. And Ice Dance for us, it's all about storytelling. So if we're able to, perform and show our feelings and make other people feel what we feel, that's it. That's our goal. So I think that's my favorite too.
Oh, that's great.
Fantastic.
Listen, I was so impressed with what you said, Nadia, about how both of you feel that as you enter each event, that it's actually a really big event. And I think that that's wonderful to hear, because you let us know that no matter what, you're both giving 110% at every single event that you skate at. And so I think that's really admirable. And I also really enjoyed hearing that you said that both of you are really just at this point in time, just taking care of yourself physically, but also, mentally. So that being said, with how much training you're doing and how intense all of the training is coming up to Junior Worlds, what do you guys do to escape? What do you guys do to take care of your mental health?
I mean, I love my work. So my job is basically my escape from reality, because being at the rink every day, as much as I love everyone there, it's like my family, it's so much joy coming to the rink every morning. We all once in a while need a change of setting. And I find that working as a barista in like the best coffee shop ever, with the best people around you, meeting new people, hearing new stories, that's just kind of my, I think, like cleanse. Every weekend I go to work and I'm the happiest person ever.
Good.
If I were to go to your coffee shop, I would order, I don't know what, but I'd be sitting there going, I want to talk ice dance. I want to talk ice dance.
Peter, what about you?
Oh, so for me, during like time that I have off of skating, it's usually just trying other sports to keep myself energized, keep myself moving. So like I'll try swimming for like the cardio aspect of it. Same with cycling. Obviously, can't do that right now with the weather. But other sort of sports to keep me motivated, keep me activated, and with the just doing that really helps take my mind off the thought of skating programs day after day. I mean, obviously we love doing those programs, but to just do something that takes my mind off it, it's a lot helpful. Yeah.
So this is a last question for you, and it has to do with your training environment. You are training with Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier, two of the best ice dancers in the world. You won the Junior Grand Prix final. They won the Senior Grand Prix final at the same event at the same time. What is it like to be on the ice with skaters of that caliber? What's the effect?
It's so hard to say this, because if you were to ask me this question 6 years ago when I just came to Ice Dance Elite, I would have been like starstruck. Like, that's best. I've watched them on TV. They're crazy. This. If you ask them, I would be that one annoying kid that would always try to chase them just to be like them. But I think now it's different, and especially being at Grand Prix final together with them, for us as Junior Grand Prix final. But they're so, I mean, I would like to think we're friends, okay? But
it here first.
It was so nice, and it is so nice to come to the rink and see them and see how hard they work and get inspired and kind of motivate ourselves, and also motivating ourselves with the thought that possibly we're going to be competing against them next year, which is just like a lot to think about. But they're inspiring, and great friends, people.
Peter, last word to you.
What else can I say? That just said it all for me. I was just going to add on to that as well. It's the fact that they're people. They're not robots. You know, we all have our ups and downs, and as you know, Nadia mentioned earlier, it's like taking care of yourself. So we see them, we see how they take care of themselves, look after, you know, their bodies, and so for us, it's something to look up to, and like, you know, both of us, we've gone through our fair share of like injuries, and well, Nadia was injured at nationals, but we also just sort of thought we'll take on their sort of thought process towards the sport, and yeah, it's just a great environment, really.
You know what? Speaking of great environments, you have made our environment today fantastic. We want to thank you so much for joining us. This has been Nadia Bashinska and Peter Beaumont. A round of applause. Look for them at Junior Worlds. Look for them at an ice rink near you and a coffee shop, as it turns out. Thanks again for joining us.
Best of
Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye. So we just want to talk a little bit about Four Continents. We have some great skaters who are at Four Continents. I want to remind everybody that the live streaming starts today on cbc.ca. I believe the first event goes live at around 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, maybe 2:45. But if you're online with your snacks, with your DHB, delicious hot beverage, then you will be ready to go. So let's take a look at who from Ontario is competing at the Four Continents Championships.
So yeah, today actually it's the ladies short program that's going on
Yep.
today. So we've got Maddie Skeezis skating, and I was in touch with her coach Nancy Lemaire, and she has let me know that, you know what, Maddie is feeling really confident with this competition coming right up for her. So she's feeling good. She's feeling relaxed, very confident. Practices have been going very well. So really, you know, best wishes and best of luck to her today for a great short program. And as well, Leah and Trent will be competing and representing Canada, you know, and being part of Team Canada at the Four Continents for the very first time as a new pair team. So they're feeling pumped about being able to represent, obviously, Skate Ontario and Skate Canada at this event. So looking forward to their, you know, debut per se.
And in the men, this is kind of interesting. Conrad Orzel is the bronze medalist from the national event. And Stephen Gogolev won the men's free skating, had a very poor showing in the short program. So was looking to rectify that because that's been a bit of an issue for him this season. But this is one of the events where Skate Canada will be looking to figure out who, in fact, will be on the team at Worlds. So it's kind of an interesting way to look at this event. It's not the first time Skate Canada has done that. And it just gives the skaters a chance to look around and to see what they can do. So I think we're going to go now.
Throughout the show.
Pardon me?
I was just about to say, it's like what Charlene said, is that it's not over until it's over. So
Yeah.
like, for instance, you know,
Skate.
Stephen Gogolev did not have a great short program at nationals. He really didn't. You know, it was one of those moments where you're thinking to yourself, can we just press stop and then play again? And can I just, you know, start over again? Because this isn't what I do, you know, normally. And then comes back with an amazing long program. As you said, he ended up winning the free program. So, you know, I mean, I think what's going on right now, especially in the different disciplines, is just that these kids are really working hard and making sure that they can try their best to lay down two solid skates.
Yep.
You know,
Because we know they can,
yeah.
but you have to be able to do it at competition.
Yeah.
Speaking of competitions, okay, our Miss Charlene, dress designer to the Stars and to the Flower Girls of Canada. I want
Flower
you to talk
retrievers for
Flower
everyone
retrievers, I'm sorry.
can retrieve the flowers.
I beg your pardon. My old language dies hard, but I will do better. Flower retrievers, because you're right. They can be.
We're all learning about inclusivity across the
Yes.
board, as it seems. So,
And you
no
know what? We've
problem.
got some shows coming up with those very topics that we hope people will weigh in on, because we are all for making people feel welcome and good. So flower retrievers, you are absolutely right. So Charlene, you are the flower retriever doyenne, let's say, and you produced the flower retriever dresses for Canada, for Canadians, for nationals.
I did.
And you'll be doing them for another big event soon, which I won't name, but maybe you will. Can you talk a little bit about the process? And we have a photo of your dresses from Oshawa.
Yes.
There they are. They're beautiful.
Some of them are. Thank you, thank you. Yes, so as many of you know, or maybe do not know, I'm the creative director of CB, which is a figure skating fashion company. And so we were lucky enough to lock in with Skate Canada for 3 years. So you'll be seeing lots of us. You can't escape, you can run, but you can't hide. And so Flower Retrievers and also booth space in the concourse. So Nationals was super exciting. The last time I did it was actually 2020, which was the last time all of us got to be in a room together. So it was nice to be back. And, you know, in this case, the girls were very excited, and they get really pumped because they get to sit rinkside and see, you know, stars that they look up to and that they get to see on TV. So in about 2-3 weeks time, I will be heading to Calgary because Junior Worlds is upon us. And so we'll be doing the same thing. I can't give you any snippets right now, but I can give you a little sneak peek that you might be interested in.
Is this a hint?
Calgary. It's a hint. It's a hint. It's a hint. So Calgary, I'm gonna go freeze and watch amazing Junior World figure skating and cheer on our Canadians, and we have many of them attending.
So Mao Asada and Yuna Kim were in Kitchener-Waterloo about 100 years ago. I was doing commentary for Junior Worlds. It's the first time I ever saw them. Oh my goodness, the talent that you can see at the World Junior event can be second to none. Talent like Nadia Bashinska and Peter Beaumont, for instance. Listen, I just want to say, I just want to ask a quick question. Do you have guidelines that you have to follow? Is there a color palette? Like, tell me a little bit more about the technical process for getting those dresses on the ice, or outfits. But in this case, it was dresses for Oshawa.
Yeah, so it's an interesting area that we're kind of exploring with Skate Canada because a contract like this, to my knowledge, hasn't really been done. So it's been a fun process of figuring out, like, okay, something that I might wear, someone else might not wear, or someone might not feel comfortable. And we want people to feel comfortable when they're, you know, being a part of such an amazing event. So, you know, making sure that they're warm in terms of color. You know, Skate Canada has launched a brand new logo, and with that comes a whole design and color swatches and the whole thing. So there's a lot of freedom. But there is a theme this year. The folks that I'm in touch with at Skate Canada were kind of like, here's the theme. How do you feel about it? And I was like, yippee-ki-yay, I'm on it. So it's going to be fun this year for sure.
You know what? That is fantastic. And we are excited to follow your progress and your journey, because all this insight that we're gaining as far as skating and skating events are concerned. So before we say goodbye, there is somebody that we'd like to highlight a little bit. And we are talking about Wilf Langevin, who passed away last month. Wilf Langevin was my mentor as an announcer. He's the reason why I got the opportunities that I did. He had a velvet voice that was second to none, and there isn't one skater out there who sort of any of our vintages, maybe not yours, Charlene, but certainly Mazen's and mine, that didn't know Wilf Langevin's face. So Wilf, you will be missed, and what an addition to skating all over. So that's what we have to say about Wilf Langevin. Listen, my friends, it's time to sort of end things up. If you're looking for lots more skating news, make sure you follow Skate Ontario, at Skate Ontario, basically on all the platforms. I'm going to be in Calgary at, as I said, Novice Nationals, where we have 19 skaters. I've got my running shoes on because I'll be going from place to place to place. And then, of course, we have synchro teams who are also competing in the Canada Cup. Last words from you, Charlene and Mazen, and then we are out of here.
And I'll be trailing behind you, not with running shoes, probably stilettos, in Calgary as well at Junior World. So I'll follow your footsteps, PJ. Mazen, what about you?
Listen, I'll be sending you both toe warmers in the mail, okay? Just to keep your feet nice and toasty. Travel safe, have a great time. You know what? It's great to see you both, and so happy to be talking skating again with you both.
Me too. Lots more to come, everybody. Make sure you stay tuned to 3 Turn 3. We've got some great shows coming up. Our website and our social media will keep you posted with whatever. And that's it for us. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.